Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, today in a more literal sense than usual. But in order to get there, we need to understand why we're going. So watch this real quick.
Charity, the Prophet's holy city is on its way to Earth, with an army of Flood. I can't tell you everything. It's not safe. The Gravemind, it knows I'm in the system.
It's just a message.
Let it play.
But it doesn't know about the portal, where it leads. On the other side, there's a solution, a way to stop the Flood, without firing the remaining Halo rings. Hurry, Chief. The Ark. There isn't much time.
Did you catch that? She said that through the portal is a way to stop the Flood without firing the rings. On that information, Chief then affirms that he will find Cortanas Solution and bring it back. So, let's go to the Ark. Welcome to my installation. Now let's be clear, the reason we're here is to find Cortanas Solution. But what was Cortanas Solution? Oh, of course, it was the new Halo ring that was being built in the Ark's forges. But wait, she said without firing the rings. The entire plan when arriving at the Ark was to find Cortanas Solution, but it seems pretty likely to me that upon arriving, other factors came into play which rapidly changed the primary mission priority. During the opening moments, the priority was to get Ford and Dawn out of the battle happening above the Ark, as it was a heavyweight fight and the Dawn didn't have the tonnage to last against the other vessels. So the first mission priority was getting the Dawn and LZ, then focus on Cortanas Solution.
Is the Dawn rated for atmosphere? I guess we're gonna find out. Hey, take cover!
Once this was established, the priority was to get some intel on the Ark and find out where everything was. Similar to the Halo constructs, the Ark had a cartographer, a map room. So the next objective was to locate it and learn the locations of key constructs and facilities on the Ark. It was at this point that 343 Guilty Spark had discovered that Truth had barricaded himself into the Citadel, one of the Ark's superluminal communication arrays, and was preparing to fire the rings. The priority shifted majorly from finding Cortanas Solution to stopping the galaxy-wide cleansing of all sentient life. If there's a reason to drop what you're doing and focus on something else, that's it.
We must get past that barrier, or the mother will destroy it all!
So, at this, the elites, humans, and the Chief all headed to Truth's location to stop him from activating the rings. Once again, the priority of finding Cortanas Solution is bumped until High Charity arrives at the Ark, of course, the Covenant are finished, and it is discovered that a half-finished Halo ring is in the forges of the Ark.
Replacement. The ring you destroyed.
When did you know?
Then the way to stop the Flood becomes firing the replacement Halo ring so far beyond the galaxy's rim that it will have no adverse effect on the life in the galaxy. But this wasn't her solution. First, because considering that even 343 Guilty Spark didn't know about the replacement even existing until he, at the very earliest, arrived at the barrier around the Citadel, then it is highly unlikely that Cortana knew. And if the argument is that the Gravemind knew and she got that information out of him during the interrogation, one, I do not think the Gravemind is stupid enough to leak information like that, and two, she says this.
But it doesn't know about the portal, where it leads.
So it can't be either of those reasons. I think it's more likely she found out about the Ark through the systems on High Charity. Ultimately, both Regret and Truth in Halo 2 and Halo 3 respectively travelled to Earth looking for the Ark. So that information was probably present within High Charity's systems somewhere, maybe even encoded into messages sent between the Prophets. It would make sense since she does say that it's not safe, and that the Gravemind knows she's in the system. So that is how she found out about the Ark, but there is no way she knew about the replacement Halo ring if even 343 Guilty Spark didn't know that information, because he has said this.
While I had a complete understanding of Installation 04, my makers wisely limited my knowledge of all other strategic facilities. Compartmentalization, in case I was ever captured by the Flood.
Furthermore, some have argued that there was no solution. It was just a way to lure John to the Ark so that he could come and collect her from High Charity, but High Charity wasn't heading to the Ark initially. It was heading to Earth, but then the Gravemind managed to retrofit High Charity slipspace drives with precursor technology and allowed High Charity to translocate to the Ark directly, avoiding Earth completely save for one single ship. Cortana is good, but under interrogation by the Gravemind, she's not that good. So what solution did she mean? Well, in a similar manner to the Halo rings having different firing settings, and the Index having primary, secondary and tertiary functions, it's likely that the Ark in fact has more than one purpose. Yes, it creates halos, but its inhabitable biospheres were put in place as per the request of the Librarian to assist in cataloguing and indexing all species of the galaxy. So its function as a safe haven away from the effects of the Halo are a secondary function. But what if there are more? What if the Ark itself is actually a weapon? What if it has some new undiscovered Forerunner technology that could kill Flood biomass, but not their food? Well, one thing I notice is that when Chief actually gets to her, she says nothing about the solution. Literally nothing.
You found me. But so much of me is wrong. Out of place. You might be too late.
You know me. When I make a promise.
You keep it. I do know how to pick 'em.
Lucky me. Do you still have it?
The activation index from the first Halo ring. A little souvenir I hung on to, just in case. Got an escape plan?
Thought I'd try shooting my way out. Mix things up a little.
Just keep your head down. There's 2 of us in here now, remember?
Why didn't she mention it? Because she didn't know about the solution. The solution wasn't her idea. It was the Gravemind's. Think about it tactically. Going back to my video about the Flood and the interruptions being something only the Gravemind would be capable of doing, sending a message to Earth suggesting that there is a solution to the Flood through the portal would convince humanity to travel through it. The Covenant were already determined to head there, and since the Gravemind destroyed the Greater Ark over 100,000 years ago, it's pretty likely that he knew that there was another one. If nothing else, because of possessing the Prophet of Regret and slowly infecting him, thereby extracting the information from his mind like the Flood did to Keyes. The Covenant knew about the Ark and the portal and its location, so inevitably the Gravemind learned of it too, probably right after Chief and Arbiter met him deep within Delta Halo. Knowing the only surefire way to stop him is for a species to activate the rings, it is in the Gravemind's best interests to stop whoever tries to fire them. That is also the reason that he only sent 1 ship to Earth. 1 to deliver his cleverly crafted message, and 2 to give the very motivation to follow the message's instructions without outright destroying humanity completely anyway. Ultimately, he knew humanity would do some of the work for him, and having humanity and the Covenant all in one place makes it easier for him to consume everyone. Finally, he knows that only a human can start and stop the firing of the rings, so rather than kill them all, he unites with them for a brief moment, and the second the task is accomplished, Gravemind immediately attempts to kill the Chief. Had he succeeded, Gravemind would have been on the Ark, able to consume all of the humans and Covenant there. He'd have control over the firing of the Halo rings, thereby disarming the galaxy. He'd also constantly have a presence outside of the range of all of the Halo rings. He'd have access to the Ark systems, and in particular the portal systems to various places throughout the galaxy, and be able to use them to infect the entire remaining galaxy. Cortanas Solution never existed. The message that Chief watched was created by the Gravemind to lure humans to the place he needed them, to disactivate the array and easily consume them all when he succeeded. As it was, he didn't succeed. But that doesn't mean his plan still doesn't apply. The Flood are still on the Ark, and the only forces there are the Banished and the remaining crew of the Spear of Fire. Halo Infinite or future Halo games will likely see us return back to the Ark at some point. It'd be interesting to see who comes out of the woodwork when we do. Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below, I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons, Sir Tenchi, the Silent Cartographer, Miguel, Brian, Sebastian and Holden, the Holders of the Mantle, Justin, Darian, Ty, Iron Griffin, Black Biscuit, J Rabbit and Austin, my Reclaimers, Zach, Deep Cover, Verbal Statue, Spesigo, Spartan A498, Guppy, Josh and Evan, my Metarchs, and all the other patrons that have jumped aboard to support the channel. You guys are awesome and all of this wouldn't be possible without you. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. Be sure to support us on all major social media channels including Discord, and if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there. It would mean the world to me and would free up more of my time to put into this content and other Halo related goodness. Take it easy everyone, find peace in the domain.